It's really good. I don't know if I can see. It's a new Hesburgers. It's Hesburger's new vegetarian burger, I believe. I look at the ingredient list. The patty is made of what's that called? Beans, soybeans, I believe. Mm, peas, lentils, maybe. Mm. I've never been to I've never been to Hesburger that often because I don't like burger. Like I just don't understand the concept. Like, we all know, or maybe it's just a subjective thing. I go there. If I'm gonna eat a burger, I know what I'm after. I'm after that patty between that two slices of bread. That's what I'm after. A patty. I get people say like there's a synergy of all these elements like the cheese, the pickles, the ketchup, the bread, and the patty, but I don't buy it. It's not that I don't buy it. I don't see it that way. For me, it's all about the patty, man. No, that kind of explains why I go to KFC. I used to a lot. I think that's like an honest way of approaching my personal dietary choices. Like if I'm in the mood of eating a lot of meat, I don't want pickle. I don't want ketchup. I don't buy anything. I always ask you when you go order in KFC. Do you want to get fries on the side? Do you want to get a soda? Do you want to get ketchup? Do you want to get some sauce to dip your meat in? No, I don't get any of those shit. It's sacrilegious. Sacrilegious. It's sacrilegious to dip your meat in any sauce. To me, that's disrespectful. It's hard to describe, but there's there's a sense of purity involved. Like if it's meat, let's face it, it's meat. It's different from all the other things. It was once organic. It was once a living creature, right? And then you kill it, and then now you're eating it. All the other things, they weren't alive. They weren't animals, right? So mixing them up is like, I don't know. It reminds me of that movie called Midsummer. It's a Swedish horror movie, kind of describing a bunch of guys who went to a cult. They didn't know. They went to like a little secluded place where they had a cult performance, like a pagan cult performance where they sacrifice people, and they all got sacrificed in the process. it reminded me of practicing there, where they put a living person inside of I believe it was a sheep or a cow or some sort of an animal skin, right? They wrap it up and then put decoration on it as if he was a living creature, was an animal, and then burn him alive. That was towards the end of the movie. Um, that wasn't a good way to die. That's at least that's at least of my favorite way to die. Way after getting I don't know, getting killed by a bullet through the head or drowning. Drowning is horrific in my opinion. I have a intense fear for dying in water, but getting stuff in animal skin and then lit to fire in a church, in a pagan church, that's the worst way to die. don't I don't want to argue, but in my dictionary, that's the worst way to die. Mm-mm. Eating eating meat, it reminded me of this. It's eating meat with vegetable. It reminded me of this. It feels like insincere. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to disrespect the animal, or are you trying to cover up the fact that you're eating meat? What is it? If you're telling me that it tastes better, or eat them separately. You can mix them up in your mouth, but having them like pre-mixed, if it feels wrong, to be honest. It feels wrong. It feels like you're trying to cover something up. I recently started to eat more and more vegetable, and less consumption of meat, especially red and white meat. I still eat shrimps here and there, and once in a blue moon, I think that's the expression. Once in a blue moon, I'll have um, maybe some beef that is pre-cooked. I just buy them ready from the grocery store, but in little amount. I don't really. I used to eat meat every day, like multiple meals a day and every day. But now it's maybe every week, once or twice, or even less if I don't feel like it. The burger, like I just said, Hesburger. I found out they have this vegetarian burger maybe 2 weeks ago, and I'm really digging it. It tastes great. It doesn't give me that heavy stomach feeling after finishing it, and it's the cheapest one right now. They're on some sort of a discount, and it's 50 cent for one burger. I get it like after every single workout. Uh, Now the gym is closed in Tallinn. So what I do is I go out to a park, and they have this calisthenic equipment, just basically bars hanging over the ground, and you can use them to do dips and pull ups, all those simple stuff. Um, but yeah, I go for a workout in the morning after waking up, and right after that, I get a few burgers if I feel like it, and it costs me 50 cents to a euro, which is just amazing. It's got 500 calories for each burger, so you really get filled up pretty well. I'm not saying this is healthy. I'm just saying it's something I notice that I gravitate more and more towards. I didn't just the other day I was talking to a girl, and we're talking about why I feel like I'm more and more leaning towards eating vegetable and staying away, gravitating more and more away from gravitating away, is that the right way to say it? Pivoting away, maybe. Pivoting away from meat consumption is because I really don't see um, how I can how I can eat them with in a respectful way, how I can kill animal in a respectful way. Like for me, really, I don't it's not yet sympathy. I don't feel bad for killing animal. I actually want to kill animal. It sounds so weird out of context. I don't want to kill animal. I mean, I wouldn't mind. What I'm trying to say is I wouldn't mind hunting for my own meat. If I want to eat, I think I should take a bow, a crossbow, or whatever. Not gun. Gun is cheating again. Like a crossbow or a rock or like whatever mechanism that uses my force combines with my force can produce killing power. And if I do get to catch an animal that way, I will not hesitate to eat that animal. And I will feel very honored to eat them that way. I have an appetite right now. Just imagining that I can kill an animal with my own bare hand or with some minimum mechanical tool that doesn't use like bullet, doesn't involve those, complex, I guess. Um, this line is hard to draw, but let's say gun is out of my consideration. If it's a bow, if it's a rock, if it's a spear, those kind of thing, I can live with it. If I can kill an animal with that, I'll feel good that I can eat their meat. And I don't feel like they're disrespected because I really use my power to outpower them. And then I won. If I won, I eat you. I mean, I wouldn't want to be killed in the wild by an animal like a bear, like a grizzly bear, or anything like that. But if I had to, but if I were really alone and it was a dystopian society where like the morality fell apart and we're in an anarchy and there's no government and people are eating each other alive like enemy in the wild in the depths of the jungle in somewhere in southern Estonia, let's say. And then I came across this grizzly bear and I was, fighting him. And eventually I couldn't fight a grizzly bear and I die. My artery got torn apart, and then he and his cubs, is that what it's called? All his sons and daughters would eat me, like getting my guts out and just dissect me while I'm like still lingering on my last breath. If that happens, I wouldn't feel good, obviously, because I would be dying. But I'm imagining, hypothesizing it. I also think it's an honorable way to die. It will be a way honorable way to die than getting killed by a pagan cult and their weird practice. I think that's a real way to die. That's a real man's way to die. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm romanticizing it. Maybe I am. But I think that's the way it should go. If I want to eat meat, I go hunt it. I get it myself. If I'm not fit enough, if I'm not physically or agile enough in the head to catch a prey, maybe I don't deserve the meat. Maybe I should be losing weight. Maybe I should practice more and gain more strength and agility and the mental power to persist on hunting. That's a way to improve because you're always craving for it and it's so rare that you would get it. But now I just feel ashamed. Like I go to a grocery store and I feel ashamed that I'm eating animals that I didn't kill. I feel ashamed that they were raised just for my consumption, and all I did for getting the food is so minimal. Like I typed something on my keyboard and somehow it produced value in human society. I don't know. Minimal stuff. Let's say teaching, let's say selling stuff or being a part of the human society. And somehow my minimum effort that I exerted just through my keyboard on my computer are good enough of a token for me to get some meat. That is just mind-boggling. I'm telling you. I can't really wrap my head around it. Like, they died for what? For me? Like, all those animals, they died for me, a keyboard typer in real world, in the real world. I mean, the real world out there, they laugh at me as they escape from my crossbow. That's what they would do. All those chickens, all those cows, all those borgs, borgs are like the wild pigs. All those like mammals, they would laugh at me. They would laugh at me because I couldn't catch them. I wouldn't be able to catch them, right? Like, when we had a biology class growing up when I was on the fifth grade, and in one class, a teacher came in and she told us that we need to go to a room with her, the whole classroom, right? We have like 40 students, and we all follow her to another building, which is away from the main building, main teaching building that we always use for all the other class. And this is a small section of the campus where I guess special classes were held. And biology class, especially the thing that we were about to do, were a part of that special instructions. And we went there, and in a classroom, it was filled with rabbit, right? It was just rabbit running around on the ground under all the desks. It was crazy, like, and we were told that we would have an anatomy class where we would dissect the rabbit and take out the heart of the rabbit after we killed them. So how would we kill them is we were asked to go inside and grab a rabbit in pair. We would go two at a time, go in there, catch a rabbit ourselves, and tie it down to a table. And what we do is we use a syringe and we pump the air through the veins on the rabbit's ear until the air would go into the heart chambers of the heart of the rabbit and kill it. Yeah, yeah, that was a part of our anatomy learning process. First of all, like, I couldn't catch a rabbit. It was really fast. I couldn't. Um, Me and my teammate, we had to really corner the rabbit, and we had to work in pair. If it was 1-on-1, I couldn't even get that rabbit. And it was already a controlled environment. It wasn't in the wild. If it were in the wild, the rabbit would be gone, like, just poof. I wouldn't even see him again. Even when he was trapped in a classroom on my own hand, in my own capacity, physical capacity specifically, I could not outpower him. I could not capture him. And then once we did tie the rabbit down on the table, and we're about to inject the air into the veins through his or her ears, I couldn't do it. Right? I just don't know. It was struggling. It was peeing all over the place, and I couldn't do it. So I just let my teammate did the pumping of the air, and I held down the ear. And the animal died. Obviously, it was it was it was it was twitching. As the air at the very beginning, nothing happened. The air took a little while, goes through the vein, and then finally got pumped back into the heart. And when it did hit the heart, and it just like one of this intense twitching throughout the body of the rabbit. It was very intense, and we had to hold it down. Um, and it took about 10 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, and then there were no movement. I don't remember how I felt about it at that time. I think it wasn't that bad. Like I remember um, seeing it. It was a transformation as a as a thing was unfolding in my own head. As a experience was kind of like elaborating itself in front of my eyes. I couldn't understand the significance of life and death. I couldn't. I couldn't wrap my head around it because it was so drastic of a change. And it was the first death that I had witnessed in such close proximity. I didn't know what it meant. I just looked at the rabbit and it was twitching and then it's flat. It was so distant, it was so detached from myself. I felt so safe. I didn't feel like anybody was got pump air into my ear and then kill me like that. I didn't even make that association. And now I realize, yeah, there's not so much difference between me and the rabbit. It's all a living creature. We all have a heart. The whole mechanism physiologically work very similarly. Like if we can kill a rabbit like that, similar method could be used on human. And I'm pretty sure it has been. I'm pretty sure it has been. But when I just look at the rabbit dying in front of my eyes at that time when I was on the 5th grade, I was in shock, but not in a regretful way. I didn't look at it as if it's something that I'd done wrong. First, it was instructed by the teacher. Second, like I said, it was very the transformation of from life to death. The transition was so quick. It was so distant, you know? I look at the rabbit and it's gone. It's just gone. It was easy. It was strange. Mm. Um. Yeah. I don't think that's the right way to kill an animal either. I didn't catch a rabbit. I didn't. I just so It's just so nasty, man. Like tying somebody down and use meticular technique to kill something. It's just nasty. Killing should be brutal force. It should be painful and quick, and then using brutal force, right? If I'm gonna kill an animal, like I said, crossbow, that's the way to go. Hand, choking the fucking shit to death. In the nature, do what you need to do to survive. If you're on your last breath, and if it's between you and the rabbit, I fucking do whatever I can to kill that son of a bitch. But I do it with intensity, and I will do it with intentionality. I would know exactly what I was doing. Any killing without a realization of the killing, fuck that. It's just nasty, man. Especially letting kids do the killing part and without them properly understanding what it meant. That's even worse. I think you should have the capacity to understand you're behaving in a killing manner. You're killing something. That should be the first message that get delivered before any of those anatomy practice could be conducted, is that you understand the significance of your action and what it meant. Are you okay with it? If you understand the significance and you still want to kill, yeah, go for it. But you gotta fight for it too, right? It shouldn't be easy. It shouldn't be easy. This is taking life. And now coming back to my own dietary choice nowadays, do I feel bad about eating animal? I do, but not because they're dying, but the way how they are dying for me, like on a person to person, on a person to animal level, on a very subjective personal level. I don't feel like I deserve them at this point. It feels strange that I get to eat as much meat as I want, pretty much. They're not expensive. But what have I done? What have I done to deserve that? Am I physically that fit? I doubt it. I doubt it. If I go to the forest, go to the jungle, right, I wouldn't catch shit. I'll get worms from the ground, maybe. That's all the protein, animal protein I'm going to get. But am I fit enough to get like elk? I I wouldn't. Would I get a bear? I wouldn't. Would I get a chicken? Hardly. Would I get what else is there? Would I get a cow? No, I don't think so. I got run over by cow. That's what I can do. Do I have the mental strength to kill them? Before I am close to death, before I'm like this close to death, I don't think I would even have the mental capacity to do the actual killing. Like slitting the throat of a cow. You think it's easy? I can't. No, I can't do it. I just can't. Maybe, like I said, maybe when I'm pushed to the boundary, it's life and death, and I have a knife, and there's a cow in front of me. I'll probably try to kill it. But can I do it just willy nilly? Like, hey, I'm kind of hungry, like I haven't ate for like 3 hours, and now I have a knife. I'm gonna kill it. No, I can't. I don't have the mental strength for it. So it's interesting. Like as these thoughts kind of unconsciously running through your mind, your taste preference start to change as well. It's almost like it's all kind of connected that way. Like I started enjoy meat less and less these days. I think primarily because of the sentiment that I have towards animal and how I'm consuming them. I used to love chicken. Like really, I used to love chicken. I still do, but it's becoming less and less enjoyable as the day goes on. Like I told you, growing up, my favorite fast food was KFC. It was 20 years ago, or even 10 dozens of years ago. KFC was in China, and it was expensive, and at least for my working class family, it was expensive, and we couldn't go just willy nilly like every other day. No, and it was kind of far. They don't have a lot of spots in my city, and we would go only once or twice a month, and that's the happiest time of my life. I'll go inside, and we couldn't like buy a lot either. Just a few wings. And my parents sometimes wouldn't even eat; they would just let me eat because it was too expensive if we all eat there. So I would just have the chicken, and I remember it was so juicy and it was so nice, and it was like the happiest time of my month. And now in Tallinn we have KFC now. I believe in Tallinn there's three, and there's one in Tartu, I think. And the closest one to me is in Lasnamäe. It's about 4 kilometers away. And I've been there a few times, maybe three, 4 times. And I always just get the chicken wings, right? And they remind me of childhood. It remind me of the taste hasn't changed all that much. It's still pretty much the same. And how do I put it? It's becoming less and less enjoyable. It's just because I look at the chicken wings, and I think what I think. I think what I just told you, and that takes away that takes away so much of the enjoyment from eating the meat. When you don't feel like you deserve something, when I don't feel like I don't when I don't feel like I deserve something, It's just it's hard to enjoy it now. It really is. So now I'm eating vegetable burgers, and I'm replacing all my wheat protein to I got, what is that? Pea protein. I got pea protein. I got uh soy protein, I believe. Oh, hemp. I got hemp protein and pea protein. Hemp is pretty nice. I haven't tried it, but I heard it's like a complex. No, it's a complete protein source, just like wheat and an animal product. But yeah, I'm trying more and more vegetarian options. Um, I'm just trying to follow what I feel is is making me enjoying the process of eating more. And yes, I do want to eat animal, but not in the way that I'm currently eating them. Not in the way that I just feel like I need them nutritiously, nutrition wise, that I need them. I don't buy that. Maybe I do need them. Maybe I'll have deficiency in certain way, but I don't want to make that a rationale of go out and buy meat from the store. And if I do feel the urge of eating animal, I would need what I need to do, instead of making peace with my personal feeling, is to go out and learn a skill. Let's say how to use a crossbow, how to hunt. I would gladly hunt down an animal and kill it and skin it if I have the ability, mental and physical ability to do it. Once I get that ability, I will eat meat. And I think, this is hypothetically speaking, I never done it, right? And I think if I do get that ability, I'll be so happy. I'll be so happy to eat it. And I believe when that happens, I'll enjoy eating meat again. But before that, I think it's an inevitable process that I probably wouldn't eat as much meat anymore. I'll probably just stick with veggie burgers, my hemp and pea protein, and that's it. And they taste good. And they taste good. They don't taste bad at all. Like I said, it's a conflicting feeling. It almost feels like you can't like something that you're programmed to like, just because you feel a certain type of way about it, just because you don't feel like you deserve it. It's a bit frustrating, I would say. It's a little bit. The enjoyment of eating meat is just gradually fading away. I don't know why, but it is a bit frustrating. I'm observing it on a daily basis, but it doesn't take away the mild frustration that I have about this change. Um, let's see how it goes. I do feel lighter in the stomach, like because I consume less meat. I feel my skin texture is getting better. It's more bouncy. It's got a little bit more radiance and it's smoother. I like it. There's some positive change. I'm losing a little bit of weight, but probably because I work out a lot more these days, because of the quarantine. I don't got much else to do. Um, but all in all, I would say, like, so far I haven't noticed anything negative physiologically, on me, as I switch more and more to a vegetarian diet. I'm gonna keep you guys updated with this and see how it goes and where it goes. But I don't know. Maybe it's time to pick up the crossbow and go out and hunt. Let's see how it goes. I think there's a lot of regulation attached to that as well. So yeah. But yeah, the recently Estonia become one of the most infected with COVID. One of the country that is most infected with COVID, I think, per capita. or at least in the past 7 days, it has been like that. It surpassed Czech Republic and is now the top dog in the world, or at least in the EU. Time to get famous again, Not because of IT or forest coverage. This time it was COVID infection rate. I don't know. It's good to know, to be known for some reason. I believe there's no bad publicity. I think this is a good thing for Estonia, but hopefully we'll get this COVID thing under control and then nobody get hurt anymore. I do wish things will open up. I do miss the gym. I do miss going out, and I do miss the events happening in Delhi Skivi, even though I don't go all that often. But let's see how it goes. I'm making peace with the reality that we won't be able to travel anymore. I talked to my parents just 2 days ago, I think, and I told them like the infection rate here is out of hand, and they told me to go back home, and I said I can't. First, I don't know how to go through all the hoops, jump through all the hoops of getting back. I think everything is kind of chaotic. Getting a flight ticket is it's hard. It's expensive, and China doesn't approve everybody to enter into the country at the moment. I believe you need to have some sort of a health code, and you need to get a particular type of COVID test done. And there's only one institution in Estonia that delivers that kind of test, is SingLab. And they're bombarded with all the requests of getting COVID vaccination. So I don't want to go and bother them with my little test. I hope I wouldn't use our public resources at the moment, because a lot of people need to get the vaccination done first, especially the elderlies. So I don't want to add to the trouble. So that's the first thing. The second, even if I get back home, there's going to be 14 days mandatory solitary mandatory confinement, quarantine, personal quarantine in the hotel. You will be escorted from the airport directly into a hotel nearby, and you will stay in there by yourself and pay by yourself for 14 days to show that you have no symptom, and you come out if you don't get a positive diagnosis by the end of the 14-day quarantine. And even after that, when you get home or your residence, you will still have to be home quarantined for an additional 7 days, that you cannot go out. You have to be at home. You can get home delivery for food supplies or groceries, but you personally cannot go home. You cannot go out, right? And after that 7 days has lapsed, you will have to stay away from public gathering, I believe, big chunk of people or busy area in the city for an additional 7 days. So all total together, you're looking at an entire month that you will have very limited interaction with the general public, right? An entire month of limited or zero social interactions. And that's just a little bit too excessive. I wouldn't say it's excessive. They're doing it for a reason. I guess they really want to contain it, which is good. But for me, personally speaking, would I want to go through that whole process? I don't think so. I don't want to. I mean, a month is a long time. And 14 days in a hotel room with no training equipment, with nobody to talk to, and just a hotel room. It's not even an apartment. It sounds awful, to be honest. I know I sound spoiled, but this sounds awful. I just don't want that. I haven't been back home for a good 8-9 years now. And if I do want to get home, I don't want to. The first thing I remember is a hotel room. I don't want the first thing I see of my hometown is a hotel room. That's not something I want. So at the moment, I'm just gotta stay around, being Estonia, and do what I need to do, earn some money, get physically fit, maybe learn to use a crossbow. And once everything works out, once I can. Once the whole COVID situation dies down, then I'll probably go home and take a look. Because I got growingly interested in seeing China again with my own eyes. I'm keeping myself updated with whatever that is happening back home, more or less. But I've been really scared about going back, terrified about the changes that has happened in the past decade while I was gone. I've never experienced the emergence of WeChat. So far, I only have like 10 or 15 contacts on WeChat. They're mostly family members and the students I have teaching English. Uh, I didn't know about mobile payment. I didn't go through the whole process of like cashless society. I don't know how that have evolved. And just a whole concept about like buying things by scanning a code and going around with only a phone and nothing else is just fascinating. I want to see it with my own eyes. It sounds easy to explain, and I understand the concept behind it. It's not complex, but just the actual application and the day-to-day practice of that fascinates the shit out of me. And I want to see it with my own eyes. And I just by the limited picture my parents have sent me in the past years, it's unrecognizable. The place that I grew up, now they have like triple layers of like intersections, road intersection over each other. Like high. I don't know how to call it, but like the road that go over another road, and they build it up in bridges over the land. It's crazy. And then I remember growing up with this dirt road in that area, and now it's multiple layers of lanes and multi-dimensional road, and it's mad. It's rad. Like the places I have lived in the past 6 years is Estonia, right? It's a beautiful place. I'll give you that. But things evolve slowly at a slower pace. It's something I prefer. I feel it's really helping with my anxiety, with my mental health, with a lot of things that I need to work on in my 20s. But at the same time, I think I want to see what is a fast-speed society like. I never had a close experience with it. Before 18, I don't even understand it. But now, since I have the experience of living in Estonia, I want to have a comparison. I want to see what things are like in China now. I can't wait. I can't wait for this COVID thing to go over and start doing things. I have a lot of things on the plate right now. It's gotta be good. Anyway, today I'm gotta go and prepare for an exam. But yeah, in a week I will see you guys again. Take care. You know what? I was trying so hard to get a Estonian porn star, a porn actress, to get on the podcast and talk about her experience, and I haven't been able to make that contact. I haven't been able to make that happen, but I'll continue to try. I believe it's gonna come to a reality. I think that'll be really cool. I really, really would like that. Like doing porn as an Estonian in Estonia. Maybe OnlyFans, maybe on actual porn sites, maybe escorting, doing escort, not doing escort, being an escort. And how does it work in a small society like this where people more or less kind of know each other, and even if you don't know each other, you get to know each other fairly quickly. In such a close-knit society, how does that experience work? But I'll keep you guys updated. If that does pan out, it'll be amazing. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Never off the boat.